Here are the first songs I've ever listened to by these 10 bands. Let's check it out. I want you to sit back right now and try to remember the first time you ever heard a song by your favorite band. Can you do it? Well, for me, I have kind of a weird memory type thing, and I can recall some of the most obscure events in my life, but I can't remember people's names or birthdays. It's strange, when you listen to a song, it can take you back to a place, and for these songs, they really do. They're in no particular order, and they're kind of all over the punk genre, from pop punk to straight punk rock to hardcore to indie, but they're songs that I vividly remember, and when I listen to them, there's a huge nostalgic factor to them. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. Hooligan by Rancid off of their 1998 album, Life Won't Wait. I'm not gonna lie, we're not off to a good start. This is the first song I ever heard by Rancid, and I fucking hated it when I first heard it. I don't know why, but everyone around me, when I started listening to punk, pop punk, I was like the poser kid, and they started throwing songs my way. Hey, you need to listen to this by AFI. Hey, this by Bad Brains is amazing. Hey, this by Rancid was amazing, and this was the Rancid song. So I listened to it, and I wasn't impressed. I don't know. Something about it, like the organ and the way it opened up, I just wasn't a huge fan. I was like, what the... This is punk rock music? What the fuck is this? Then I listened to other songs by Rancid. I mean, this is not my favorite song by them. And if I were to take an album, a punk album, and be stranded on an island forever, and Out Come the Wolves is definitely on that fucking list, because that was the album that I got my chops with playing bass and guitar and really getting into punk. And CD by Operation Ivy is another one. But I don't know, something about this song just like... I'm glad that I kept down that road and still listen to Rancid tunes, but something about this song I just fucking hated. And I could still recall the first day listening to it. There was this kid Dave and this kid Andy who put it on for me in their car during band camp, during a break. And they're like, dude, check this out. And I'm like, this fucking sucks. I didn't say that because they were older, but at the same time, on my inside, I was saying it was terrible. And later that day, Andy gave me the CD album from Operation Ivy, and that's kind of what took me off. You're So Last Summer off of Taking Back Sunday's 2002 album, Tell All Your Friends. I remember seeing the video for this song. It's more of a visual representation than it is a sonic one, I guess. Remember watching this video and going, is that the fucking dude from Public Enemy? Like, when did he start a rock band? And this was again during the MTV U years, and I was like, oh, it's kind of a parody thing. I see what they're doing. And this is the first song I ever heard by Taking Back Sunday. It was so obscure, and I was like, a band can do this. They can kind of make fun of other genres or parody them or what have you. And this is long before the YouTube days. And I really liked the song. I thought it had a good hook, but I thought the Flavor Flav thing was just so damn funny. And I looked up more songs by them. Decade Under the Influence, that was another tune that I discovered right around that time, and that song just blew me the fuck away from Taking Back Sunday. But You're So Last Summer was just so ridiculous, and yeah. Grand Theft Autumn off of Fall Out Boy's 2003 album, Take Us to Your Grave. Back to the band, marching band, we would bring boomboxes on our band buses on the way to football games and to competitions. And we would all take turns in the back of the bus just blasting the most obnoxious music that parents could ever hear. I remember when Fall Out Boy first started popping off, Grand Theft Autumn and Saturday were the two songs that were blowing the fuck up at the time. And I remember this kid Zach would put this song on like 3 and 4 times during a fucking 30-minute bus ride. It's like a 3.5-minute song, and we listened to it like fucking 3 or 4 times. This song was kind of stuck in my head, and I just remember like being in uniform and everyone singing this song. It was just, I don't know, it was just like a great sing-along moment. Where is your boy? It's not like when that first hit, everyone would finish it and sing it all together. You'd have 40 kids singing this all at once, and it was just a cool memory, an awesome moment. Bruised by Jack's Mannequin off of their 2005 album, Everything in Transit. I talked about this on another video. I was in a country band, and we decided to throw some rock tunes in there. just to kind of mix up the set. We would throw oldies, stuff from the 80s, stuff from the 90s, and then stuff that was going on at the time. And this album had only been a couple years old. Glass Passenger had already way been out. And there was a few frequenters that used to come to our shows all the time, and they really liked Jack's Mannequin, and they liked something corporate. And so we would like send a list out, whatever songs you want to learn. We learned like 10 or 20 of them. And this song ended up being on the list like 4 shows in a row. We had a pretty steady gig. It was like we were playing Thursday through Sunday. I didn't have a job. I just played music for 2.5 years solid. Anyway, this song got on the list, and I ended up listening to it, falling in love with it. I said on the other video that Everything in Transit is one of my favorite pop punk records of all time. Learning this song was awesome. I love the chord progressions. I love the changes. I just remember learning this song and playing it for the first time. Just remembering their reaction the first time we played this song was amazing. Chick Magnet off of MxPx's 1996 album, Life in General. I don't know if I can talk about this on YouTube without getting in trouble, so I'm just going to limit it to the name. Me and like 4 or 5 friends used to go around works bombing. If you don't know what that is, it's got to be somewhere on the internet. I'm not telling you to go try it out, but look it up. 10 years ago, you can get away with a whole lot more. But we would drive around, cause some chaos, and listen to punk songs. And this is the first time I was introduced to MxPx. And we would listen to this song all the time, every single time. I really didn't like this song the first time I heard it. I thought it was corny. I thought it was cheesy. But I think that's the point of the whole tune. It wasn't for years that I really got into MxPx. I mean, I liked a couple of their songs. Punk Rock Show was kind of cool. I thought Mike's voice was really annoying at first, and then I realized, oh, you fucking sound like him too. You sing just like him. You got that nasal going on too. So I have an MxPx shirt on right now. This is the first song I ever heard by them. That memory will always hold, where we were just driving around and doing the deed. Don't try that at home, kids. Turncoat by AntiFlag off of their 2003 album, The Terror State. This song holds special memory. The first time I saw AntiFlag at Warped Tour, it was really during the Bush era, and I had a friend, Ian, who loved AntiFlag and loved the whole anti-establishment thing, and ironically later on joined the army. I remember him just being so into this band and bands like NOFX that were like in Flogging Molly and Bad Religion, and bands that were like so against the establishment and what was going on in the United States at the time, which in retrospect I wish that there was a lot more of that going on now than there was then. We thought it couldn't get any worse, and look where the fuck we are right now. But this song was the first song that I heard by AntiFlag, and I felt like such an asshole and an idiot because AntiFlag is like one of the biggest bands from Pittsburgh, one of the biggest punk bands from Pittsburgh, and I didn't know who the fuck they were until I first heard this song, so it took me that long. Then again, I also didn't get into that type of music until around 2003, 2004, so can't really say much. The Adventure off of Angels and Airwaves 2006 album, We Don't Need to Whisper. When Blink broke up, everyone who was a hardcore fan or anybody who was in the pop punk community was completely fucking devastated. Just seeing a band like that just fade away, just go. They were on the top of their career and just gone overnight. It was devastating. So when word started getting out that Tom was starting a new band, everyone tried to pick up on it. This is still kind of pre-YouTube. YouTube was still coming out but wasn't doing much then. So to try to find a song by this band was damn near impossible. You had to like creep around on message boards and forums and try to find any fucking hint or clue when this song or album was coming out. And then The Adventure dropped and everybody lost their fucking mind because it was like the first time anyone's ever heard a band do something like that. Now, if you listen to bands like U2, they kind of do the same thing with the delay pedal and all that stuff. But to hear such an epic sound come from a band that was driven by punk most of their life was truly a new experience, especially if you were kind of in the narrow-mindedness of just listening to those genres. You know, to hear fucking stadium rock come from a punk band was a totally new concept. And to hear this song was like awe-inspiring. That album in itself kicked the fucking doors down for a lot of groups to kind of branch out of their kind of narrow-mindedness, pigeonholedness, and go, I can do something more. And that was kind of my thought with it, to introduce keyboards and crazy sweeping sounds and this delay pedal, and that song I just remember being everywhere and me listening to it constantly. Pump Up the Volume off of NoFX's 2002 album, 45 or 46 songs that weren't good enough to be on our other records. Or I think that's how it goes. I didn't hear this song off of this record. I heard this song off of I don't know if you guys remember it, probably might be too young, is the Punkorama series. And I had one of their Punkorama series. There was a Melancholy song. No Cigar was also on there. This is the first song I ever heard by NOFX. I just remember blasting this fucking song all the time. Blasting that album, the Punkorama series album, all the fucking time. And thinking I was so tough and so hard because I finally had some punk music under my belt that wasn't like mainstream radio. And then I really wasn't a fan of NOFX. And then I got into their War on Errorism album a couple years later. Guns for Hands off of 21 Pilots' 2012 album, Regional at Best. I remember my band, Skyline Heartbeat, was recording our EP. We recorded in our mom's basement, using Logic, using Pro Tools, kind of soundproofing. It was a pretty good area to record. Total DIY album. But my brother kind of produced, engineered the album, and we would listen to like new songs, new bands for ideas. Google and listen to whatever the fuck we possibly could to try to get an idea for something. I remember there was a band called Anamanaguchi. I think I'm saying that right. They're a Japanese band. They're fucking amazing. You need to look them up as well. We would listen to this and bands like Patent Pending. They were kind of a straightforward band, but they had cool little things they were doing. I remember hearing this 21 Pilots song. It was the first song I heard about 21 Pilots. And I remember thinking, like, this band is going to blow the fuck up. This is no joke. But this song, I just remember being in that basement and getting drunk and listening to it and thinking this band's going to be fucking huge one day. And little do we know. Last but not least, What's My Age Again off of Blink-182's 1999 album, Enema of the State. This is the first song I ever heard by Blink. I remember getting into this band because of this song. I remember seeing 3 grown men running around naked on TV and going, what is this? This is just fucking so new to me, so different. And hearing a band be so full and have such weird fast parts and 2 and 3 part harmony, and there was like oohs and ahs in their songs that reminded me of like 80s music that I was brought up on. It was so new because it was on MTV. This song was played at probably every Christmas dance, fucking spring and fall dance that I was at in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. This song changed everything for me. Shortly after I got a bass guitar, the first song I ever learned by Blink was Carousel, it's Carousel. But this is the first song I ever heard from the band, and I just remember I've got to learn more. And my life has been completely changed ever since. I'm going to leave an Amazon link to all these bands' vinyls in the description below. Feel free to buy them because, you know, vinyls are cool and CDs are out of date, man. Let's just roll the outro. Hey guys, now that we're at the end of the video, thank you for commenting, and subscribing. You can check out daily blogs on thepoppunkdad.com, which features daily reviews and interviews from awesome bands. Head on over to the Pop Punk Dad official merch shop where you can buy cool things like that right there. It helps the channel out and lets me know that you love me. I have a weekly podcast called the Pop Punk Dadcast, which is on SoundCloud and iTunes now. Please subscribe. While you're at it, cruise around and check out other content on this channel. You can check out all my social medias, my IG, my FB, and my Twitter at the Pop Punk Dad. And above all else, guys, stay pop punk. Later.